welcome to this week's Heroes Table. As you will have noticed, we will be two people today. I will not have webcams. It'll be more of the podcast type stream tonight. And it'll also be a little different than our usual style of streams. Mostly because it's been 2 weeks since our last stream, and a lot has happened in the last 2 weeks, so we wanted to take a moment to go through all of that and essentially being able to answer hopefully all of your questions, but we'll see how many we can reliably answer, and we'll try to figure out the answers for the rest of them as we go along. So let's have a quick look at the introduction. I will be your host, Hisha, together with Tolubius, as my co-host.
Hello.
Yes, so we will start with this AMA style podcast kind of thing, where we will be discussing some changes, or not changes, but some information that's been released over the last 2 weeks, like since the last time we were on air. And we will also have time for some gameplay demos. And I did prepare for essentially like replicating as much as I can the new player experience. So I'll be doing all the like blockchain part of it. Usually I've been doing sandbox mode when we've been on stream, so this time I want to do the like actual beta part of it on stream. So I've like reset everything, and I've minted some characters, so we don't have to spend time on that. But I might also show that that works. I was a little bit confused by it as well. This is probably not the way it's gonna be when it's out, but I guess we can go through the process like very briefly.
Yep.
So we'll start with the changes, I guess. Anything in particular you want to start with?
Sure. Well, we've released some information on our mint and that we'll be working with JPEG. They are going to be launching their new NFT launchpad, and we will be part of. I think we're the second.
Yeah, that's
NFT
what I've heard.
launch.
Yeah.
So, which is fine, and we got a lot of upcoming partnership information with. Thank you, Blue. Sorry, I lost my train of thought.
So also the JPEG isn't that more like a marketplace for NFTs in a way? Like not
Yes.
the what is it called? Not like the market, like the auction places, but more like it's more than just a jump pad is what I'm trying to say. It's yeah.
So for us, it's just a launch pad for our minting for the NFTs. So they will be the ones facilitating that for us as part of our partnership. The idea being is that, using them and their reach, which is very wide on Avalanche, helps bring some validity to us, that they're willing to partner with us and help us with this. So we think it's wonderful.
No, definitely, and the Trader Joe people is also very nice as far as I'm concerned. Like what like my experiences with them has been very nice. Like it's a nice community.
Blue just said that the JPEG marketplace will be for all NFT shopping.
Yeah, that was my
That was your point.
That was my understanding as well, at least. Like it is more than just a launchpad, but it might just be like a good place to start for us. But what I'm not sure is exactly how we're going to use it long term, because I believe it is set up as this thing where you can launch your NFTs there, and then essentially you can keep having it there. But I don't know if we want to shift our NFTs into Eternity as that becomes available, or if we will have it alongside our own stuff.
I see.
So yeah. Yes, and we also have the Frax partnership, or at least the vote was a success, great success, I would say.
Yes, it was 99.7% for. So we're happy with that.
I think we're still waiting for the resolution to that, but at least it's looking good in in how many people are in favor of it. So we're just waiting for the paperwork, I guess.
Yeah. So for anyone that doesn't know, our seed round is getting close to being finished, and Frax, we invited them to be part of that. And as Sisha just said, we've the resolution passed, and we expect them to purchase $500,000 of glory.
Yes, and in that partnership, we are also committed to having our liquidity pair being Frax and Glory. So Frax will kind of be our stable kind of choice for Eternity.
Yeah. We're real happy to work with Frax. They've been super helpful in more than one way. So
yeah, definitely. Okay, so I guess a good question here is, where will your LP be held? I'm not entirely sure what is meant by that. I guess it'll be on the blockchain, and it'll be held in the treasury, as far as I know, the treasury wallet. I don't know if that's enough answer. I'm not sure if you're asking something specific. Maybe which platform? Will it be SushiSwap or QuickSwap,
like
or
Trader Joe?
Yeah,
yeah,
stuff like that. Will it be Trader Joe?
I don't know. I probably shouldn't speak out of turn on that.
I'm not sure if we have like a specific platform in mind. It will also depend, because Eternity will be multi-chain, so there might be different platforms.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So I don't know if that's decided yet, but we will definitely Eternity will start on Avalanche, so the first pair will be on Avalanche. I don't really know.
Sorry, I just got a response. It will be Trader Joe.
Okay, it will be Trader Joe. Okay, so on Avalanche, at least it'll be on Trader Joe. It might be on other chains as well, or it might be other places on other chains, I guess. But that's cool. Frax and Trader Joe pairs will go live at the same time.
Good question.
Yeah, that is a good question. I'm not actually because I don't.
Frax being the seed round, that's a different situation than our pairing of Frax. So, part of our raise ourselves when we do the NFT market, part of that money is going to go to buying Frax and pairing it with glory that, we have available for the treasury at launch. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I think also according to the in the white paper, there is a section about this the private sale. I think a small percent, I think it was 1 million glory of that, is also going to be paired with Frax in this case.
Yes.
Whether or not that will go live at the same time as, if I'm understanding your question correctly, you're asking if the launch and the pair is going live at the same time. I'm not sure. I don't think it necessarily have to. We can have we can launch on JoePeg without having the glory liquidity just yet. But I'm not sure what exactly is the plan here. I don't think they necessarily have to be launched at the same time, but I guess it will be shortly after, if not already at the same time.
Yeah, I think that if I understand, we'll have the minting for JoePay, and then when the game lives, liquidity will be added. From what I understand.
No.
Yes, correct, Blue, correct. I've got a question here from Edwin, or a comment. The challenge I saw was a way to make the Augur minting accessible to AVEX only enthusiasts, and the Augur won't be limited to any chain, because our system can transfer NFTs to any EVM chain, it won't be necessarily tied to Avalanche in that respect. If I'm touching on what you're.
So it looks so now. If you read the next one, they're saying we could accept AVAX for Augur. So the thing about the Augur is it'll only be purchasable by Omen, which is on Polygon. So you will need Omen on Polygon to buy Augurs. That's the only way you will be able to get Augurs. You will not have to transfer your Omen to any other chain. You will keep your Omen on Polygon. You will pay with the Omen on Polygon, and then you will get an Augur in whatever way the devs decide. Either they will mint it to Avalanche on the same address as your Polygon address that spends the Omen, or you might be able to specify an address and then it'll be minted for that address on Avalanche. I believe the initial mint will be on Avalanche, and this also goes into the question asked by OneCoin to rule them all. Will Augur minting take place at the same time as Gen Zero? I don't think so, and the reason I don't think so is because we haven't had an announcement about the full details about the Augur, and we want to give people a good amount of time to figure all this Omen dividend versus Augur mint stuff out. And considering we have, I think, 3 weeks till we launch, I think we might want to give Omen people more time to prepare. So my guess would be that it wouldn't be necessarily at the same time, but you're not in a hurry to mint Augurs once they are available as well.
I just got an update from North saying that the intent is that they should be around the same time.
Okay.
But I do realize that I'm going to take a second and explain the Omen situation, as Edwin's asked. A reasonable question about the Avalanche enthusiast not wanting to utilize Polygon. The Omen token is essentially a leftover token from a yield farm that did not work out. I mean, we've been honest and open about this. We tried to perform a different kind of service with our farm in that we created a new thing called infusions, which you could stake one coin and get any combination of other coins that you wanted. And when we launched that, in case it does work, it's been working this whole time. And so unfortunately, our product relied on yield farms to function properly, and the yield farms completely died, probably about 2 months after that, or give or take a couple days there. So we were stuck with an Omen yield farm token that we had no utility to get value back to it. And the only way we could figure out how to do that was to fully emitted. Thank you. It is a fully emitted token, and it was fully emitted way back, like months and months and months ago. And so the developers are standing by that coin in an effort to give people an opportunity to utilize it for something else and transfer that value to something that could appreciate, as considering the game is successful. And we believe that it will be the first token ever to do that you will be able to sell that token to buy an Augur that will be part of the community wallet that gets 5% of every piece of revenue that comes through Eternity. So it's unique, and we think it's going to work, which is why we're doing it. And myself, I've have a bunch myself, and I just, as a Omen holder, I appreciate the fact that the developers have acknowledged and kept trying to find a way to make that work, whereas so many other protocols just packed up and left. And I think that it's important for people to understand that we were trying something, it didn't work, we kept going, we didn't abandon the coin, we're going to make a utility for it, by transferring the value to an augur, which then gets a percentage of revenue.
Yeah, and I think it's also worth mentioning that this opportunity is mostly targeted towards people from Augury, the old platform, while it's not necessarily restricting new people from coming in. But I think it's important to distinguish that this is a move that is made in favor of the people that was already there. And if new people wants to get in on Omen for the purpose of getting an augur, they are welcome to do so. But that will like be the extent of how Polygon at this time is integrated with anything related to Eternity at this point.
And Edwin, just your next comment, I have forwarded that to the developers, and we'll see what we can do, because I understand what you're saying. So we don't want to not give people the opportunity because they don't want to mess with Polygon. We understand that. So I'll see what we can do.
Definitely. All right, so did we have any other new things happening? We discussed briefly the JPEG stuff and the Frax stuff. I don't know how much else we haven't talked about and how much else we can. Of course, the private sale goes beyond the Frax partnership, but that's the one that has been the most transparent right now, I think. I don't know how transparent we will see of the entire sale, considering it is a private sale probably for a reason. I'm not sure how, like the legality of private sales and all that stuff. Just like in a sense of, I don't know how much information will be public, like who bought how much of what. I think it's up to the individual parties to disclose that.
Right, yeah, we can't.
I don't even know if we know it. Some devs probably do. I don't think we do.
No.
Any further thoughts on solo mode for the AFK battles? Define solo mode, or is that something we've talked about? It doesn't.
Edward and I chat about, but I'll let him go ahead and type it in so you can get it straight from him, and then we can discuss.
Okay.
Is JPEG launch on time? Well, we don't know. I mean, we're assuming that JPEG is going to come through because Trader Joe's legit, and they do have one launch before us, so that's.
Yeah, I'm not even sure when Trader Joe has planned to launch JPEG, but yeah,
all I know is that we're earmarked for the week of May 16th. That's the best we have. So
I guess the answer is hopefully.
I'm not losing any sleep over it.
So. No.
What else we got? Yes, correct. Big R.
Yep, less than 3 weeks from now, indeed. Okay, so soul mode, meaning the ability to engage in an AFK battle with a single NFT hero as a strategy for low cost entry point. So it's an interesting discussion, I think. I think the idea is that you would need a full team of 4 characters, and you could even have multiple teams of 4 characters, as far as I understand. Like that's something that's being theorized, I guess. And I think the idea is we don't want people to favor the AFK farming system. It's kind of to give another option for people that may not have the time or that may not want to play the game but still want to interact with the community and the ecosystem of Eternity. But it's not supposed to be I don't know what the right word for it is, but it's not supposed to be like a cheaper alternative. Actually, it's not supposed to be an alternative at all. Really, it's just another option for specific people. Because I imagine if you have a solo mode, then you could essentially just have, if you have a team of 4 that you're playing with, then you just put like, let's say you have 2 characters extra. Or in the case, let's say you buy Gen Zero, you get 5 characters, so you just put your last character in the AFK farm. I mean, it would be cool, I guess, but it's also not really in the spirit of what I imagine the developers envision for Eternity. It's kind of supposed to be this group-based RPG thing, and kind of doing things solo, I guess. At least as my understanding, it goes a little bit against what the devs want with Eternity, but I definitely think that the discussion is worth having, and I don't think it's necessarily a bad idea. I'm just afraid it might make the game too easy in a way. If you can, yep.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but I think what he's getting at is that will we come up with a mode that can allow a person to play the game with less upfront money? So, because I know that him and I have been discussing, right now there is almost no market for sub 1 AVAX. That's information that he gave me, by the way. Which has been real helpful because we've been chatting about that. And so there's an underserved market is essentially what we have. And we have a lot of games that are in the same AVAX cost space. And so is there a way for us to come up with a way to get people in at a lower entry fee, but not have a negative impact on the revenue ecosystem?
I think another part that I think is important for this discussion as well is how multiplayer is going to affect Eternity, because I think multiplayer is going to resolve this problem.
Yes, you're correct.
In basically the exact same way that this solo mode would do. Like you will, except it won't be as solo. It will still be in teams of 4, but you will be able to play with a single character with either one of your friends who has 3 characters, or 3 others of your friends who have each like 1 character. So that would be one way I think this problem could be solved. Of course, the solo mode could be another if you also don't have friends or anyone else that you can play with. But I think having the solo mode, like without the solo mode, you would have to like try to find people you can play with in the community, for example, or in other communities that you're part of. And I think that would be more in spirit with what the devs want. But of course, we also have to acknowledge that not everyone is keen on the idea of like interacting with strangers in that way. So I guess the solo mode would be another option to cater to like more people that might not be as social for like a multiplayer solution.
So to piggyback on that, also although it's on our roadmap, is the mobile portion of this, which will allow people to access the game off chain. They don't need a wallet, and so they don't need AVAX to get into the game. I don't know what the pricing structure is going to be yet for that off-chain game. I imagine that it's going to be what you're asking for, in that it'll be, our goal is to get people into the game, playing it, having fun, because the game can store rewards off chain and then you can bring them on chain later. Someone could play for a year without ever getting on chain, collect rewards, come on chain, pay the whatever we have for, to make that happen, which I'm sure there's going to be some kind of fee for that. And then they could get their rewards in this way. Maybe we can help create this, bridge between non-crypto and crypto with not a lot of tension between it, So yeah, we want to get people into the game. as much as possible, whether it's within crypto or outside of it.
Mm.
So I personally think that, having a way for people. So we're gonna have an auction house, and so it could be possible for somebody to go on the auction house and buy one character for whatever it's on sale for, like a common character. And then like when we do release the 4-player option, you're in with that one person, and then you slowly work your way up to a full party. And just like any game, you just work you play to get through it. I mean, the feedback and the gameplay is why you're there. The reward of that is just on top of that. We're really working more towards, this is a game that gives out rewards for playing, and not, this is a job, this is a idle thing that you just click and walk away and maybe get some money for it, because while we are going to have the AFK system for the people that don't want to play the game, it won't be as rewarding as the people who actually play the game.
So another way, just to piggyback off you a little bit there, and now I'm going like full on a tangent, and this is like full speculation on my part. But imagine that we can solve the issue in another way as well. Like, let's say once land becomes available, you can somehow stake your characters in this land. Like maybe they can work in the mines, or they can work on a farm on your land, or something like that. You can get resources in that way. Like maybe there's something like that they can do instead of specifically the AFK battles, but maybe you can use your characters like to benefit you in the game on your own land at that point in time, and then you get some other benefits there that might not be exactly the same rewards as the AFK battle system.
Yeah,
like there's a lot of opportunities here, and I think all of them are worth having a discussion about.
Absolutely.
Because that's also what we want to do with Eternity. We want to have the community be involved. And that's exactly how this kind of discussions come up.
Yep.
But there are definitely many solutions to this problem, I think.
There are, and we've talked about actually 3 or 4 about just different mechanics that can. I agree with Coin. We do have a bunch of different mechanics we've discussed with the developers, and I'm excited about the stuff that we have discussed. It's pretty neat. So.
Yeah, and I also, we have a lot more things that we will be discussing at some point. Like, I don't think we have discussed much of the crafting system either, which is also on the roadmap. I don't think we even really know that much about it. I think we know the general idea of it, but again, the details aren't really that finalized yet, at least as far as I know. But even that discussion, or those discussions, will be very interesting. And then we have the whole land ownership part of it, and then how do we integrate land ownership with the crafting system? Do we even need to do that? And not to mention the rest of the game, how do we make those things interact? It's all like these building blocks being designed and built and then put together in a very interesting way. And I don't even think that we know the full scale of how Eternity could like be at some point once all these building blocks are starting to be put together. Like what will we end up with on the other side? I don't think we really know that yet.
No, I agree. One of the things that I'm real proud about this team is that, unlike a lot of games that do a NFT mint and then tell you the game will be ready in 3 years, our game will mint and then you can play it.
Yeah.
So we are not riding on the NFT investment to make the game. The game is made. We've played it. I mean, I play it every day.
I think Eternity is setting a lot of firsts with how things are done, and hopefully most, if not all of them, are good. But maybe some of them are just like
maybe they're not.
yeah. I mean, and maybe they are like small things that doesn't really matter in the end. Like I don't think Eternity is necessarily envisioned to like change the industry and be something very unique. I do think it is that, and I think to some degree that was definitely the hope from the developers. Like they wanted to show the world that hey, we can actually make stuff that makes sense and benefits like all of us. And I think if Eternity is successful, which I definitely strongly hope that it will be, but if it is, it just shows. I think it's gonna set some new standards. It's definitely gonna set some firsts, and we'll see if people adopt that. Of course, if it fails, then well, at least we tried something, and it looks really good. But yeah, I guess sometimes things can look good on paper and not work. But let's hope Eternity is not one of those cases. Let's hope it actually also works.
Yep, absolutely. Edwin said that he forgot to ask if there will be a glory or gold farm at Trader Joe at game launch. And as of right now, I believe this is true, there will be no ways to stake for more coins.
That is also my understanding.
Yes, because that is against the whole point of the game, which is play and earn. You can stake glory for experience potions that what experience potions do will give you more skill points, allow you to get more skill points faster. So the way you earn money faster in the game is by being stronger, because it lets you complete the quest faster. And so as I posted on our Discord, glory can be bought in LP. No farms. Yeah, sorry, I was just reading what Dirk was writing. So yeah, there are no farms for glory or gold, and that's intent. There's an intent on that.
Yes.
Sorry, I'll get back to what I was saying. So we have rarity tiers for our characters, and each tier has a different quantity of distributable skill token or skill points, like you would in any role-playing game, because we have like 8 to 10 skills that you put your skill points into based on the type of character you have, and then you can essentially make it more powerful. And so the higher up the rarity your characters are, the faster you're going to level up your characters and complete quests faster and get rewards faster. So that's the way our game takes investment levels and ties it to payout. It's quite different, I think, from most everything else. We do not want to emit a token into zero. I mean, again, completely unsustainable. One of the things that people never talk about, and I know I bring this up a lot and I annoy people with it, but if we don't know where the revenue is going on a tokenomics flowchart, we've got a problem, because this is a business just like any other protocol. And if more money is leaving than coming in, you're not going to make it. And it doesn't matter all of the magic games you play with the tokenomics itself. You cannot create money from nothing. It's impossible. And so this game works because we, the players, choose to invest in it. We're choosing to buy the NFTs. We're choosing to play the game. And that's what creates the revenue for all of us. Because right? Go ahead, sorry.
Yeah, and that's also what the tokenomics is trying to show. Like that's why 80% of the money that comes in goes back into the ecosystem, because that's what makes it sustainable. That is what prevents the money from leaving. Like imagine if 80% went to the devs, then there would be maybe 20% going somewhere that is not out of the game. But it would be very difficult to work against the sell pressure if we only had 20% of the income to do that with, or the revenue.
Yeah. And that's essentially that's what's destroying every other game. Is that they're just too much money is being removed from the underlying treasury, And so there's no way to sustain the emission rate.
And it doesn't have to be to the devs. I'm not saying that all our problems
Correct.
is because of greedy developers. It's just like if not enough people stays in the ecosystem, that's the problem. It doesn't matter where the money is going. If too much money is going out of the ecosystem is not sustainable.
Correct. And so we bring in something called dynamic emissions, which if you
Player-driven emissions.
What's that? Sorry?
Player-driven emissions.
Yeah, player-driven emissions. So for our game, you remove the 15% for the developers. That leaves 85%. 80% to the game, 5% to the community wallet, as we've discussed. And so we're not emitting more glory than the revenue that we're bringing in. It scales. And so the idea being is that you can't emit glory into zero is obviously the point.
Yeah.
That's what's missing in all of these games. They've got a set amount of tokens that they're distributing at a set amount of time, and they are taking into no consideration the revenue that's coming in or going out for the business part of the game itself.
Mm.
And it's impossible to raise an asset if you're constantly draining it. I mean, this is no different than any business in stocks. You know, I mean, if the treasury continues to grow because people keep playing, I mean, we all win. And that's the whole point here, is that everyone has to give a little bit for everybody to win. You know, the VCs have to be okay with their portion, and the developers have to be okay with their portion. And the players have to have enough to make sense to keep doing it. Because if every game goes to zero, everybody's going to be right about NFT gaming, is that it's a scam and nobody knows what they're really doing.
Yeah, and I think it's also very similar to how economy works, like on the very base level. Like you have a money printer somewhere that prints money, but if you print too much money, then you're devaluating your asset. And if you are printing too little, then you might not be able to fulfill the demand, and then you devalue everything else essentially because there's not enough money. So it's like a balancing act of inflation, essentially.
You're right, and that's the thing. I truly believe this. I truly believe that our economy in eternity will be better than the U.S. economy. The way the feds deal with our money, because they don't care about controlling anything. They don't. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter to them. I mean, they say it does, but we all know it doesn't. Or if they did, they'd stop doing it. So, you know, in our game, we all have a unique group benefit for not killing the game. I mean, that's what we're talking about, right? Is like the devs are invested, the VCs are invested, our partners are invested, we're invested. And if all the game is supposed to do is pay out the VCs and the devs, then where there's their exit liquidity. And it does, I mean, and you know, we're just dum-dums again for doing it for the next, you know, person that does that, just like they keep doing, you know, and I'm not pointing fingers or anything.
And I think the strongest point about the eternity economy versus our real world, or at least the I guess the major currencies like the euro and the dollar, is that the value of glory is not based on debt. It's actual value. Although I guess you could technically say, since it's based on, like, we have stable coins in the treasury, so I guess in a way it's based on the dollar. So it goes back to the whole legacy economy, if you will call it that. But I think the value generation of this economy versus the outside economy, like the normal world, real world, quote unquote economy, is that it's not based on being in debt to someone.
Precisely. And so, you know, for us, I know. So the thing is, everybody has been burned, right? Like, straight talk. Everybody's getting burned on a lot of this stuff because the revenue is essentially going to the developers and the VCs leaving the coin value to plummet. It just like, how many times does it have to happen before people say this isn't going to work? You know, which is why I'm always pushing our tokenomics. Are they perfect? Probably not. But you can definitely look and see how simple they are and how we actually are player centric and where the revenue goes. 85% to the game. Please show me another game that does that. I've been searching for probably a month now for a game that comes anywhere near that. Not only that, but show me a game that shows where the revenue goes, because I think I found 2 so far that actually shows the flow chart of actual money flow. You know, they have tokenomic schemes, but they're not always like revenue schemes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they get real complicated and this does this and this does that and that does this and everything else. But once it gets into that, to me, it's a red flag, because if you can't see where the money's going, like you're just setting yourself up.
And that's also not saying that people are doing this on purpose. It's just like that's where our understanding of tokenomics is at this time. And with Eternity, we are trying some different tokenomics, and they may or may not work. Again, they look like they work on paper, but we'll have to see in practice how it actually works. But that's all we have. Like, we have to learn from past projects that have failed and say, okay, these tokenomics don't work. We have to find something new. And that's like those tokenomics came from past tokenomics that also didn't work. Like we can see yield farms versus like Olympus, for example. They tried to come up with new tokenomics because yield farms were kind of not sustainable. And now we know that maybe Olympus and that kind of tokenomics is also not the best tokenomics, but I guess most of us can agree that they're still kind of better than yield farms, but they still have problems. And with Eternity, we are trying to figure out, can we make an in-game economy that is sustainable? And we'll see what happens.
Yep. We're going to at least give it a shot. And it's an honest shot, and the information's out there for everyone to see. You know, the more simple a thing is, the less things are being hidden. And that's just my opinion on everything. So,
and the more people we can get in on Eternity that can point out flaws in our tokenomics, the better. And the earlier they can do that, like that will be even better, because then we can hopefully recover before a disastrous event happens, assuming such event exists. But yeah, again, they are not tried tokenomics, so we don't know of all the pitfalls, I guess, if there are any.
Yeah, I mean, you never do till you do it.
And that's also to say, of course, there's a risk. Like that, there's always a risk with money, I guess. And that doesn't matter if you're in crypto or in stocks or even like just in the economy. Like risk is everywhere.
Yeah. All we can do is take from the industry what's happened, and then try to use some semblance of flow logic, because it really isn't complicated to look at a revenue scheme and know if it's going to at least not suck money out of something. You know what I mean? Like, it's obvious that 80% of the money going into a treasury is going to make it difficult to ruin that treasury. Like the 80% going into the treasury is not going to hurt the treasury. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to look at it from the other way. If 80% is going out though, like you know what I mean? Like, you know for sure that's not going to help.
And I think the difference is also, so one thing is getting money into the treasury. The other thing is, how is the treasury using that money? Because if the money is just lying there in a treasury somewhere, then it might not be as useful. I don't know how other people do it, but the fact that we have our liquidity in the treasury is what is beneficial to us.
Absolutely. Yeah. The deeper the liquidity, the more sustainable it becomes, less volatile. You know, we're looking for a floor value of the entire game ecosystem.
Hmm.
That's what the treasury kind of represents, right? And so if every time somebody buys an NFT pack and 80% of that goes into the treasury, the floor just rose.
Hmm.
And so the whole game ecosystem has value, not just the glory, not just not just the NFTs, not just this part here or that part there. You know what I mean? It's like
Hmm.
the whole game has its own valuation, and that's to me what we're looking for.
Yeah, and I think Apiculum also raises a valid point. We also need to really consider the security of this treasury, because we can't just have the treasury be one wallet, I guess, with all our money. Like eventually we'll have a lot of money, and then that one wallet gets compromised, and then now we have no money. And I think that's a really interesting. It's a really interesting problem to look at. Like, how do we have a unified treasury that is also secure? And I think our additional challenge with having multi-chain, like having Eternity be multi-chain, is automatically solving that problem, because we already have to divide our treasury between multiple chains. So we kind of already solved that problem. And once you have it solved for how to do multiple chains, I suppose solving for how do we have multiple treasuries on the same chain is automatically solved.
Yep. At least I think it's going in the right direction.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's definitely going to be interesting to see exactly where we're going to go. Like I'll be excited to see, like, looking back at Eternity 5 years from now. Maybe Eternity is long dead by then, but at least having, like, being able to look back and just see, like, what I know now and then what I know 5 years in the future. I think that's gonna be a huge difference.
Yeah, I'm pretty comfortable with saying that I don't think the tokenomics will be what kills us.
No, I don't think so either.
I don't. I think what kills us is the game goes through its standard life. And as long as we can keep putting out good content and expansions and keep people engaged and still have good rewards. And I mean, because let's be honest, if the treasury is always going up because people keep coming in, it kind of creates its own weird effect that spreads, right? Like people like, have you seen this? Have you seen that? And then now you bring in all the non-crypto people from the mobile app or the other places we end up, and then you have a whole nother segment of the market that hasn't even been touched, so I don't know. It's hard to say, I mean, some games last a long time, some don't.
We might even be looking at the blockchain version of World of Warcraft. Who knows?
Well, I mean, I would assume eventually you will,
Yeah.
Something.
But I think we are getting very close to the end. So if you want to get some
Oh.
gameplay in, I think
Yeah,
we
I
should
probably should.
start that. I mean, you can continue talking, but I'm just gonna set it up.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah, so I don't know. I mean, I just think we really haven't touched on the DAO portion of the project, which I think, again, is really going to set us apart because being here in America, everything we're doing and we have to do with the SEC over our heads, right? And so we've got a legal team that's helping us to make sure that we have the proper division between the treasury and the DAO and the game engine itself. So that's where, the DAO comes in place for us, is that we're going to be a legitimate DAO that leases the game engine from a different source, because that's what creates the division between the investor side of the issue. And that's also why we're not having a public ICO, is because we cannot do that. No. And I think that's just, I mean, we keep talking about things and I feel like it's just one foundational block on another, of this has been thought through. They've been working on this game for what, 6 months, 7, 8 months now. I don't know. It's been a while. We've got 20 plus people on the team. and we've got our backing. We're really putting in the hey, you got it up. I'll stop talking.
Yeah. All right, well, so before we really dive into it, again, this is like I'm not very used to this part of the beta, so this will also be a little bit new to me. And I also want to point out that much of the UI stuff that we're going to see is probably going to be work in progress still. So just keep in mind that what you're going to see in the final version is very likely to differ from what you're seeing here. So just keep that in mind as we go along. So first of all, I can check my heroes here. As you can see, I had some time to figure out how minting characters work, so I have a lot of warriors now. But I'll be focusing on the last 4 characters. Those will be my squad, so to say. Actually, I think I want a vampire in there, so let's mint a vampire as well.
So he is. Okay. So he is actually on chain right now.
Yes. No, I didn't get this before. It kind of minted without me having to sign. I'm not sure if I have to sign. I guess I have to. But well, let's wait with that actually, because I think the devs mentioned that we can basically synchronize with the blockchain at a later point. So let's actually see how far we can go without making a transaction. So I guess we'll check out some stuff and then we can start a battle. I don't think we'll be able to finish a battle in the 5 minutes we have left, but I guess we can see. So looks like the portal right now at least is where we start the quests. We can see required levels for the quests. My characters are level 10. I'm not actually sure. Okay, so it does show I can do up to these quests. I'm not sure if you need like 4 characters of this level, like the whole squad has to be this level, or if it's just 1 character from the squad that has to be this level to open the quests. I guess that could be interesting to find out. We have anything in the bank? Doesn't seem like we have the bank yet. Nothing in the shop. That's unfortunate. Can't spend my money. Also, I don't think I have this much gold, but that would be very, very cool. Yeah, I would love 200 glory. That's nice. I don't have that also. We don't have, as far as I know, we don't have like beta gold and beta glory. So this is just work in progress numbers. It's not. I don't have that in my wallet. On the marketplace, I see we have some, I guess, debug characters put in. I've never seen this before. So that's bidding. That's cool. Looks like your average like NFT marketplace.
Yep.
And I believe we'll have items as well. There are no items right now. That's pretty cool. We don't have. Oh, we do have one open here. So I guess we can place bids here. I don't know. Does it work?
I haven't tried it.
Doesn't seem like it. Okay, but at least it gives an idea of how it's supposed to work. So I guess there's 21 hours left on this one.
I see. Yeah.
Okay, very cool. Yeah, we also have a debug menu for the quest. I think it's the same one. So the devs mentioned that we wouldn't be selecting quests from a menu like this. So I guess that would be like when you click the portal, there would be like a UI with I don't know, maybe some scrolls that are like help wanted, need something, some description. I don't know. Yeah, basically something like this. So we can see the location. So I wonder if we would have to go there ourselves, or if we'll just like quote unquote teleport there. We can see what type of quest, and of course our rewards. So it looks like we'll get some items for completing this one, and even an apple. Not sure what we can do there. We can use the apple for, but okay. So it seems like I already started this quest. So let's see if we can resume it. Okay, so this time it wants me to sign. So I guess that's our first transaction. Let's sign it. And now we're just waiting for Polygon being slow. And also, I guess that it's worth mentioning that our beta is on Polygon, but the main launch will be on Avalanche. Yes, I'm working on it. We're waiting for Polygon to catch up. It's probably gonna happen eventually. I hope. The transaction did get confirmed. It's definitely there. So we're just waiting for the RPC to catch up, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. Last time it took a few minutes for Polygon. Yeah.
I'm sure this is gonna be faster on Avalanche. I have a feeling.
Well, the issue is that probably RCP, my guess. Constant.
Yeah. So yeah. Okay. Here we go. And then let's get our characters here. Actually, yeah, I guess let's go with these. Start adventure. So as far as I know, each quest is gonna be up to 4 or 5 different rooms. So that's like 4 to 5 sets of enemies. Okay, looks like they get the first turns here.
Oh, hey, they added the spring hairs.
Oh yeah, nice. Okay, so I learned something and I almost forgot. Yeah, so if you use tab, you can see like a general overview of the situation. And there was, yeah, if you right click on an enemy, you can get more detailed information about them. And I guess you can get a whole lot of things, details. So for people who want to min-max, here you go. There's a lot of stats here. We'll just keep it simple. I'll just check on the health here. So chickens have 850. These have 1350. So I want to do those first. I like to get the difficult guys at least debuffed. Okay, we only have one skill here. Let's just target this guy.
I was gonna say that the truth be told, the initial first few levels are, I would say, traditional MMO speed, in which it's sort of tutorial in its way, you know what I mean? Like you get one skill attack. You don't really get any special skills, and essentially it's 1, 1, 1, 1 until you get up to a few levels, and then it starts to branch out. So.
And also keep in mind, these enemies are, I think, probably level 1 or something like that, because this is a level 0 quest, and my characters are level 10. So if it seems like this is extremely easy, that's probably the reason.
Yeah, I minted 4 level 1s to do these quests, and I've played through them. Like I went from level 1 to level 4, and I tell you, if you like turn-based RPGs and the feedback loop, that we've got it, because you get that desire of another level, more skill points to put out, then you can roll through it faster, and it's just very satisfying.
Yeah, I'm also missing a lot of my abilities I'm used to having because my characters are so low level, so they don't have the abilities. Like the Augur only has one ability right now. So yeah, as your characters level up, you will also unlock more of their abilities. I don't know if you have to spend like points to unlock abilities, or if it's just the stats that you use with the points, and then the abilities just automatically unlock based on the level.
That's a good question. I can't remember.
In either case, I think both of those options are pretty cool. But yeah, I'll just take care of these enemies, and then I think we'll have to shut it off. We are a few minutes over time already. I'll just see if I can finish these.
Yeah.
But yeah, this match is very easy because I am actually taking a good amount of damage considering I'm level 10 and they are probably not level 10. I guess that's an interesting question. I don't know. Maybe the enemies do scale based on your levels, even in the low level quests. Yeah, I don't know either, but I mean it does feel like I'm taking a lot of damage for being level 10 against level 0s.
Do you have any equipment?
I guess not. No.
Okay, that's probably why.
That makes sense.
Because my level 3 characters that have equipment are withstand it better than yours do.
I see, okay.
So I think that might be part of it.
Yeah, that does make sense. I couldn't figure out in the mint screen how to mint equipment. I don't know if I'm supposed to even. Probably not.
I had to play through the quest to win the equipment to be able to have it.
Yeah.
And then equip it. What's nice is that you do not have to access the blockchain again when you get rewards. Not right away. Like you can, when the reward screen comes up, it shows you what you got. You can look at your stuff, exit, and all that stuff just goes to your character account or your personal account, and then it sits there until you want to pull it off. And so there isn't this constant chain interaction going on. And I utilized it when I was doing all this, and it's real nice because you can equip and unequip equipment all day long without any chain interaction. So
no, I think this might be a placeholder thing, or is this how the capybara is supposed to be?
I think it's a placeholder.
Because I think this is normally for the anomaly enemy type.
Yeah, capybara looks kind of like a giant guinea pig. That's, I think, because it is a giant guinea pig.
Yeah. Yeah, so again, keep in mind that there's still some placeholders and work in progress stuff here. I guess we should start getting some healing in here. The vampire.
I was gonna say, you're risky.
Oof.
I'm a high priestess. I have to have her.
Oh yeah, I actually wanted to get a high priestess. I just got the druid instead. I mixed them up. I did want to get my druid was supposed to be a high priestess. Oh well. I guess that was a mistake putting my vampire to suck blood from that one because that was dying. I guess I'm not playing very well right now. Is my vampire gonna die? Uh-oh. At least my Valkyrie seems to have avoided a lot of damage. Oh, this is not gonna be good.
Yeah, the Valkyrie is just, I think, naturally tougher. Again, I think one of the benefits of that Gen 0 mint is like they're only going to be so many.
Yeah.
So, and it'll be, what do we say? It's 300, essentially 5 random epics for $1,500. So you're going to get an epic Valkyrie for $300, and then no one else after the mint's over is going to be able to get those without buying them from someone else. So
yeah. Oh, poor vampire. I don't know if she's gonna survive.
Yeah, I think you're back. Oh man, you're still up.
Ooh, nice miss.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
Alright, come on, let's go. Okay, let's do on this one.
I was asking North if we could put a healing skill with the druid at level 1, like the high priestess has.
Yeah. Okay, let's kill this one. Oh, the augur is not doing. Oh no. Well, rest in peace, I guess. The augur is not doing a lot of damage at level 10 without any equipment.
Yeah, I tell you, the equipment makes a big difference.
Yeah, I can
It
imagine.
really does.
Do you know how many rooms are in the first quest?
3.
Oh, okay. I was hoping this would be the last one. Because we are going way over time. Okay, let's see if we can speed through the last one. I just want to show how it looks when you get rewards and stuff.
You should click the speed up to show everybody.
Oh, okay, yeah. I guess we
like
can
you
try
can play
that.
it at 5x, you know, if you want a little bit faster.
But you easily lose track of what's actually happening.
You do. Because it's so fast.
Yeah. And also you can you can exit a quest. Like let's say suddenly you get busy with something, you can exit a quest and come back to it later, and it'll know where you're at.
Yeah,
so,
that's
yeah,
pretty cool.
I think I'm actually gonna lose this.
You are.
Oof, rough.
The healing mechanism of the high priestess is almost imperative at this level. So that's, as North said, going to make the high priest pricing interesting.
Mm. Yeah, those chickens, man, they were tough.
They are. They're Velocichickens.
So yeah, this is how it looks when a quest is over. Of course, this should have said win instead of defeated, but I guess I sucked a little bit today. I was out of my game. I guess that's what I get for being tired. I had a flight today, so.
Did you?
It must be the reason, not because I'm bad at games. Alright, so yeah, you can see like some stats here. We had, I guess, flip damage, at least compared to the enemies, because, well, again, no equipment. And I guess our vampire did the most healing, because she was the only healer we had, but she could only heal herself. And I guess our druid was pretty good at kill stealing. So.
Yeah, I was gonna say, one of the things that I'm looking forward to when we get to that point is when it's 4-on-4. When each person's a different character, and then at the end of the match you get this team versus that team, and essentially creating a competitive nature of a game that's, you know, for those that like that kind of thing. Not everybody does.
So I'm wondering how much of this actually works. I guess I have some unspent points now, so I still get experience. I suppose this is placeholder.
Yes. There you go, unspent points.
Yeah, so even for losing, I still got something out of it.
Well, you were level 10, but you never put all your points in.
Okay.
That's why you struggled too.
I see.
So you minted at 10, but didn't actually spend your points. So.
Oh, and okay. So I also have an ability that I didn't put, so you can actually customize where your abilities go.
Yes.
I didn't know. Okay, that's cool.
This stuff's like, I mean, they're pushing out stuff like daily at this point.
So. Oh, this is also new to you?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah. And I guess characters have inventories as well? Is that only for, because the equipment goes here? So I guess
inventory. Yeah, so as you collect items and stuff, it goes into your inventory is like your total inventory, and then you can pull you can move it between characters without getting on the chain.
So it's not my character's inventory, it's my inventory.
Correct.
So do you know what these symbols are? We've seen them a couple of times, but everyone I've asked, except for the devs, of course, have been able to figure out what these mean.
It looks to me like each. I don't know. I would say that you could label them a favorite and give it a and give it the different symbol so that you can sort your own favorites. That's what I would take it as.
Could be.
That
Or
way, like maybe you have swords and you have swords under that just for a quick, because you can always do the item search, but
yeah,
maybe they're going to have like a custom thing that you can pull in real quick. Or maybe that's a different item type. I don't know.
I guess we'll have to see when.
Oh yeah, because we'll have like potions and stuff too, I think. So
Yeah.
when we add that and then eventually probably crystals or whatever we've been talking about.
Yeah, I guess it could be related to like some kind of item type, but we also have the item type here, so yeah, it's interesting. Oh, interesting. But yeah, I think that's pretty much the time we have for today. I don't know if you have any closing comments or any closing questions.
Thanks everybody for coming. We had a really good turnout today, so that's exciting.
Yeah, good interaction.
Yes, we thank you.
All right, remember to follow us on all our socials, which you can find in the links channel on Discord. And Discord you can, of course, as usual, find at discord.gg/EternityRPG. Yeah, and I hope to see you guys again next week, where we will have something more exciting, like, well, not something more exciting, but more exciting stuff to show. Because this was also exciting. Unfortunately, we didn't have as much gameplay as I suppose we wanted to have, but we had some really interesting discussions instead. So
yeah, I liked it.
Definitely. All right. Thanks everyone for coming by, and we hope you enjoyed the show, and we hope to see you again next week.
Yep, appreciate it. Glory to the holders.
Glory to the holders. All right. See you everyone. Bye bye.